We will arrive at the bridges. Be your aid.